there are only a couple rules to the whole home grooming thing. The first one is kick all the men out of the house. So, this isn't a sexy process. So send them outside, they can mow the lawn, and we're going to get this done. The second rule is wine. So anytime you do anything, you should always have some wine, and this is absolutely no exception. So have some wine ready. Then here are some other starter tips. So if you have really dark roots that aren't anywhere close to the color of your hair, you probably want to start with just dyeing your roots with a regular dye. So I'm big into L'Oreal right now. It works really well. There are a few tips on this. Golden means red. So if you want some red in it, that's great. If you don't want that red brassy thing, don't get golden. Then ash means gray. So if you don't want it to look gray, don't get ash. The last one is I like natural. So this is natural blonde. This is number 9 light natural blonde. And now I did this a couple days ago because you can't dye and highlight at the same time. It doesn't work real well. The hair just falls out. So a few days before you go to doing this highlighting that we're about to do, you want to take care of those roots. So I do 9 light natural blonde. So that works really well. Now there's a lot of different dye kits out there for putting some nice highlights in your hair to make it look pretty. This one is for people with dark hair. It works really well. It's the L'Oreal Color Expert. Oh yes, it's the red box. That's how I remember it. The only thing about this is it comes with this this neat little finger thing, so you can finger dye it. If you're not good at that, don't do that. You can buy caps everywhere. Just the cap. Sally's Beauty Supply is a big place people go, I guess. So that's one place to get them. But it's a good dye. So if you want to do this dye, but you don't want to have to finger your hair, you can go get a cap. Clairol makes several kits. All of the Clairol kits, very nice. Most of them come with caps. It's a good thing to have. I picked up the L'Oreal Frosted Design because I guess I'm a big L'Oreal girl these days. I didn't realize that, but okay. So what you want to check for is to make sure that it comes with a cap. Because that's going to be the fun, easy way of doing this. If you're an artist and you have, like paintbrushes and stuff, then, go for whatever you want to go for. But we're going to do the simple one. Now I want to show you something, the reason I like the L'Oreal kits. See at the bottom there, if the light's not making this too bad, you have the little plastic thingy, which is junk. But it comes with the metal thingy. Now the metal thingy is important because that one actually works. It will actually pull your hair out of your head. So that's why I'm kind of into this L'Oreal kit. The Clairol kits don't necessarily all have the metal thingy. And that's the technical term for it, the metal thingy. Okay, so we're going to get some of this extra stuff off of the counter here. And we're going to work on this kit. So the first thing to do is take a big drink of wine because we're going to put the ugliest thing we've ever seen on our head, and that's why the men have to leave. Okay, that makes this go faster. All right. So we're going to pull this thing out of the kit. Isn't it lovely? We're going to wear these all out in public one day. Okay. Now, you notice I wear my hair parted kind of like this, or maybe I'll flip it over and wear it the other way. So the kit lies. The kit says part your hair however you part it and then start pulling hair through. I've learned over the years that you might have little jagged lines and you might not be the best hair puller througher. So if you don't do this where you part your hair naturally, then you can hide all those flaws and imperfections. if you actually part your hair the way you part it and then put this cap on and start pulling stuff through, well, everybody's going to know you're a bad puller througher. So I'm going to go right down the middle because, you know, it's not 1990 anymore, and so I don't part my hair right in the middle anymore. Although that was a cute style. It needs to come back, but we don't do it, so I'm going to part it in the middle. And I'm going to give you a couple other tips. I did not wash my hair directly before doing this because you're not supposed to. I assume that's to keep from burning your hair off. I don't know. It just says not to. But I do super condition the day before, because what you'll find out is as you're pulling hair through this cap, especially if you have longer hair, it doesn't come through really well if it's not super conditioned, because it all wants to clump together and, you know, make knots and be difficult. So we're going to get this little middle part going, and then, you know, just flip it back because that's the way to do things. Now you're going to put this on, and it's just going to be beautiful. You're going to be so beautiful. Just watch. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's a fashion accessory. Okay. And we're going to give it this little bow down here. Just hard to do, you know, tying under your chin. But now that we've got this beautiful cap on, we're going to kind of position it so you can see where your hairline is. You kind of want to get it to your hairline, but you want to get it tight enough all the way around that you don't have a big butt bump, whatever you want to call it. You don't have a lot of space in the middle, because if you do, then it's going to be really hard to get that hair because it's going to be way down in there. Okay. Now you want to kind of sweep it away if you have hair coming out the front, because eventually you're going to put this white bleach dye kill your hair stuff on you, and you don't want it to just get on spots of your hair. You want all your hair to kind of be away from your face. Okay. Sexy, right? Yeah. On your wedding night, you promised your husband you would look like this all the time, right? With this. Okay. All right. Now, you know, I probably should have done this before I put it on, but you'll see this when you get one. There's lots of little circles and dots. So if you want your whole head, you want to go for every hole. If you want just the crown of your head, you're going to do like here, you know, just like the golden triangle, and you're just going to do the circles that have holes. And if you just want really light, you know, then you're going to go every other hole. If you can see that. Okay, so there's like circle, little hole, circle, little hole. So all of them super blonde. Circles, pretty blonde, but it's streaky and cute. If you just want like a dash of blonde, you're just gonna go like maybe circle, skip a circle, circle, skip a circle. So you kind of get it. All right, so I'm gonna start pulling my hair through. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm also gonna drink a lot of wine. That's gonna be fun too. So I have a super tool in my bathroom for helping me do this, because, you know, like, this is kind of hard to see, and I'm a little old. So I have my magnifying mirror. Yeah, super size. So I look into my magnifying mirror and I find my holes and I pull my hair through. And I drink a lot of wine. So what I'm going to do, you're going to see, because you can see the light from my super mirror down here. I'm going to look down into my super mirror, and I'm probably going to fast forward most of this, but you kind of see as I pull all of the hair through, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about what the next step is. So with that, here goes this. See? Now this is what you want. You want a whole bunch of them. So it's kind of a unified piece, you know, about this thick looks like a thick piece of yarn, is about the size that you want. And you want to try and get all of them about the same size, or you'll have like weird streaks. So go with, like I said, about the size of a thick piece of yarn, and it'll come out. And then other things you'll see me doing, fast forwarding through, is you'll see me take a brush a lot, because you don't want to get a half piece of hair. If you get a half piece of hair, especially a half chunk of hair, it's going to look very strange. So you want to get about unified pieces, about like this, and you want to get about the same piece everywhere across your head, and you want to get any half hairs or half chunks of hair to come all the way through the cap. Oh, now I had my son help me with the back of my head not too long ago, and he told me that what I didn't tell him is that there's two pieces of this hat. So I'll tell you, there's two pieces of this hat. You know, there's like the outer thick piece, and there's an inner thick piece, inner thinner piece of plastic. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, so an inner thinner piece of plastic. So when you're doing it, you'll hear a pluck, because you pluck through that inner piece of plastic, and that's how you know that you're on the inside where the head is. Otherwise, you're just rooting around between the two caps and you're not doing anything useful. So, since I didn't tell him, I will tell you there's two pieces of plastic you're going through. So you'll hear a little pluck, and that pluck means you're to the head. Okay, earlier when I told you all the tools you were going to need, I forgot a very important one. Now, a very important tool is the Walmart bag. Now, it could be a Target bag, Kroger's bag, Publix, whatever you have in your area. But these cheapo bags play a very important role in this process. Now, you have all the hair you're going to dye. As you can see, when I was doing it, I went middle, side, side. Now I do the golden triangle. If you need to do the back of your hair, do that also. But in the next step, it's really important to separate this from the hair you're not dyeing, because you'll end up with like lines and stripes and weird things in your hair if you don't protect that hair. And so what I do is I take the wonderful bag and I put it over the back of my head, and then I tuck it up under my ear so it comes all the way around. Then I take the other side and I tuck it up around my ear. So I've protected all of that. So now all the hair that you're dyeing should be, you know, on top of the bag. So then I tuck the bag up under the bottom of the cap all the way around to make sure alright, and then I kind of run my hands around because I'll find the stray hairs that aren't up in the clippy clip. Okay, so then I have really good separation between the dyeable and the not dyeable hair. Alright, am I separated? Alright, good. So when I take this cap off later, I won't suddenly have a cap line on my hair. We try not to drip the stuff down there anyway, but you know, this isn't a precise art. Okay, so now you have the plastic container that they included. and you have the little spatula that has that cheap little needle on the end. I don't ever use the cheap needle. Okay. So then you dig around for the instructions. And the instructions are going to tell you all the stuff I already just told you. But inside them are the great gloves. Now you do need the gloves. Sometimes when you're dyeing with regular dyes, you're like, I don't need the gloves. But this stuff's really mean. So we're going to go ahead and put the gloves on because you don't want to get this stuff on your skin. As a secondary note, you don't want to get it in your eyes or on your face. And I know you can see real well. You know, you might want to roll your little cap around so that you can see your face again and out of your eyes, because you know over time it tends to and you sweat. I'm telling you, it heats your head up to 1,000 degrees. We put the glovey gloves on. We're going to get out the powder. Scissors. So you got to cut these open. Then you're going to dump the powder in here. Okay. You get this pretty white bottle of liquid, and you're going to pour all the liquid in there. Yay. I think those are the only things to do. Lightning pattern cream developer. Next. Oh, yeah, okay, so then you're going to find the hard metal bottle. And you're going to puncture the lid. And you're going to squeeze that whole tube in there. Kind of like squeezing out the old toothpaste tubes before they became plastic. You just roll it over and keep squeezing, like so, until you have squeezed it all in there. It makes great noises. Ugh, okay. And you're going to take ye old spatula and you're going to mix it all in together. It's kind of hard because, you know, powder, liquid, gel. If you have shorter hair or thinner hair or easier hair to deal with, you can use that little spatula it onto your hair. But as you can tell, I got a lot of hair and it's kind of thick and a mess. And so I just do old-fashioned, like I'm conditioning my hair. So I take it in my hands and I get all of my hair coated. It's all of that. And my hair's really well coated. And you would think with your beautiful Walmart bag and this beautiful cap on your head, you just couldn't get any better looking. But you're gonna, because there's one last step before you go to sit and drink wine for 45 minutes or however long you're going to keep this on. For all this to work, this has to stay warm, and so they include this beautiful thing. Yeah. It's our trip to Mars cap. So we're going to put this over all of it. And we're just going to be the most gorgeous we can be. Now what you want to do is make sure, because I just felt it, and I'm going to tell you, we want to make sure that none of this beautiful stuff is touching our eyebrows. Because there would be nothing worse than ending up with white eyebrows at the end of this. That'd be a whole different video of how to dye your eyebrows back, and we don't want to have to go through that. So, we're going to wipe around, and we're going to wipe this cap and make sure that none of this stuff is anywhere near our eyebrows. Okay. So, aren't we sexy now? We're just beautiful and sexy with all this stuff on our head. This is why we want our husbands to see this, right? Okay, that's why we sent them outside to mow the lawn. They can do that. They won't be within 6 feet of anybody, and I've heard that pollen and grass, like, you know, block all the COVID receptors. That's a lie, but it'd be nice if it were true. That's what we're going to tell all the men. Okay, so, men are out of the house, and we're going to sit around like this. Now, you're going to have about 45 minutes, somewhere in there, depending on, you know, what shade of hair you have. Just keep watching it. If it hits the shade you want, then it's time to take it out. But for right now, we're going to think about 45 minutes, and this will be all beautiful and blonde again. Okay, so I'm going to let you go play, and I'll come back in about 45 minutes. What you're looking for is this. Everything's nice and blonde. There's not any red to it. Now, if you wanted to, you could wait a little bit longer till it's white, but I stop when it gets to this kind of, let me get really close to the camera, this kind of golden color. All right, so you take the big clear plastic sexy bag off of your head, aren't we beautiful? And then you could take the Walmart bag off of your head, isn't that beautiful? And then you're gonna get in the shower. So leave the cap on, hop in the shower, shampoo the cap, then pull the cap off, shampoo your whole head, and then you're gonna want to condition. Now all of these kits have conditioners in them, or if you do the regular dye kits, you get the even better conditioner from them. All different kits and serums. What I get are these Pantene Rescue Shots. I got a little bit of dye on it. I guess I have it on my hand. So these Pantene Rescue Shots are great. So here's my system. Wash it real good. Wash your whole hair real good. Then condition your whole head real good. Then wait a minute and do one of these rescue shots. And see how your hair feels. If your hair feels dry, then get out of the shower. Pantene has a really good spray-on leave-in conditioner. Ultimate Blondes has a really good spray-in leave-in conditioner. So just condition as much as you can, because this is going to be a kind of drying kind of thing. You've just dried out all of your hair with this dye, so you're going to want to get it as moist as you can today and tomorrow and the next day. So do 3 good days of as much moisture as possible, and then that's going to help all of this out. So I'm going to go shower. I'm going to do a whole bunch of conditioning. I'm going to blow out my hair. I'm going to come back and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so the finished product looks something like this. So you know, you have all the wonderful pretty stripes and all of the nice light color, and you know what you don't see? You don't see those long roots and that really gray hair that were coming in. So in a pinch, that's how to fix it at home. So for all of you Zoomers out there who are trying to hide those roots, or you know, all of us essential employees that still have to show up somewhere every day, there's the solution. Y'all have a great time, and we'll see you next time.